Hello and welcome to the Economy This Week series of Drishti IAS. I'm Ritu and today's session is about important economic events which had happened in the past week, and this session is important for your GS-3 perspective. Moving towards the points of discussion part. So here we have selected few topics for you. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the farmers' earning in terms of the fruit. Then we are going to discuss about the export ban on non-basmati rice. Why it has become a big news? Because India contributes a lot in the production of the basmati rice or in any kind of the production of rice, and also it exports a lot. Then OPEC, because it is in news because of the Iran and Israel conflict. And then we are going to discuss about the construction workers. Here we have taken a case study of Odisha. So coming to the first topic, before moving to the topic, first of all, I want to tell you that you already know that Drishti IAS has several branches across the country, and it had started GS-IAS foundation course, prelims cum mains, exclusively in English medium. So here we have information in Jaipur 7th October 2024 5:30 p.m. Lucknow 16th October 8 am, Karol Bagh 17th October 2024 8 am. And if you want to know more information, you can call on to the number 8010440440, 8010440440, and if you are staying nearby, you can visit to the offline centers also. So this is our first topic. The first topic is the farmers' earning, and this is the news. Farmers earn less than 40% in case of fruits and vegetables. So what is the reason for that why fruit farmers and vegetable farmers are suffering a lot? So recently what we have seen that RBI is preparing 4 research papers, and in those working papers we got to know such kind of information that fruits and vegetable farmers are on the negative sides and they are suffering a lot. And why they are not getting their desired cost, whatever they had tried to produce, because of the involvement of the middlemen into this occupation. So this is the thing. So in 4 working papers prepared by the RBI's Department of Economy and Policy Research, farmers are found to have earned far less share of the consumer rupee in case of the fruits. And if we compare in terms of the dairy farming and in terms of the pulses, the fruits and vegetable farmers are more on the vulnerable sides. So here we'll discuss that what all these 4 papers says about. So as per the first working paper titled Livestock and Poultry Inflation in India, the farmers' share in consumer rupee is estimated at 70% for milk and 75% for eggs. And for poultry milk, the share of farmers and aggregate taken together is 56%. So in terms of what we can see, the milk and eggs, they are doing good, 70 to 75%, but we have to work a lot in terms of the poultry meat and overall things, which is 56%. The second paper, which is titled as Price Dynamics and Value Chains of Fruits in India, and that gives you a shocking result. So farmer share in the consumer rupee is estimated at 31% for bananas, 35% for the grapes, and 43% for the mangoes. So the banana farmers, grape farmers are more onto the negative sides, and they are not getting what they are investing into these kind of the farming. They are just getting 31%, 35% and 43%. So even they are not giving half of their investments. Then we'll come to the working paper titled Pulses Inflation in India, and that paper tells that 75% of the consumer rupees spent on gram, chana, circulates back to the farmers, while the share is about 70% of the moong and 65% of tur. So in this pulses production also, the consumer rupee has been given to the farmers, so it is quite good. Then we have the last, which is vegetable inflation in India, and in here farmers share in consumer rupee to be about 33%, tomatoes 33% for tomatoes, 36% for the onions and 37% for the potatoes. So what we have seen that in terms of the milk, eggs and comparatively poultry also, meat also, what we have seen that they are doing comparatively better, and at least they are receiving more than 50% of their consumer price. But in terms of the vegetables and fruits, they are getting less than 50%. So this is a matter of worry, and the government needs to have eye on such kind of the market, that why these farmers are on the negative sides. Now we'll come to the next one. Next one is about export ban on non-basmati rice. So recently what we have seen, that a news has come out, export ban on non-basmati white rice lifted. Why? What is likely impact? So the center has on Saturday taken a decision that it will lift the ban on export of non-basmati white rice, and though it will impose minimum export price of $490 per ton. So, and what was the impact? So what we have seen, that a day before the government had removed the 20% export duty on non-basmati white rice, and it has come to the 10%. So this is the news which we are going to cover up. So here we'll analyze the situation, that why this ban was lifted. So the reason is that this time we have improved sowing, and we have seen the 2.2% increase in paddy area compared to the last year. So we have enough record production, and this time we have 137.82 million tons this financial year. What we have seen, that we have record production. And third is declining wholesale price. So wholesale price fell by 7% because we had abundance of the production of rice. Surplus stocks, 423 lakhs tons, we have this as a buffer stock. So these are the reasons that because the farmers and because the centers had decided that they will lift the ban of non-basmati white rice. And the reason is simple, that this time we had a good monsoon, we had a good sown, we had a good record production, we have enough amount of rice into the buffer stock. So that's why our country will not suffer because of the rice. Now we'll come to the another aspect of it. So impact of the decision. So who will on the beneficiary side? So the relief were given to 20% export duty, boosting the export sentiment. So traders will get the benefits from it. Farmers, so those farmers who are growing the non-basmati white rice, just like Sona Masuri, and generally it happens in the southern part of the country. So they are on to the beneficiary side. State governments, because they can procure rice for the welfare schemes and distilleries, because we have seen that we have enough buffers stock amount of the non-basmati white rice. And then potential negative impact. So what would be the negative impact? So if the ban has been lifted, so who will be on the negative side? So what will happen, that domestic consumer, there can be a price rise in the everyday use, because the farmers will try to sell all these things to the outside countries, and they'll try to export. So there are chances that there will be rise in the prices of the everyday use. Here, India's role in the global rice market. So it's very important to read that what is the contribution of India's in global rice market. So India's export share is 33% of the global rice export, 17 million tons in 2023, leading exporter of rice globally. And India and China together accounts half of the world's production. Then main competitors, so Thailand and Vietnam are the India's biggest competitor in terms of the rice market, and they together had almost competed with the India. And other competitors are Pakistan, Cambodia, United States, because they are producing also rice and they are also investing into the rice market. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about the export categories of the rice. So here we'll discuss about the basmati rice. So it accounts 1/3 of India's total rice exports and 52.42 lakh tons exported. Non-basmati rice subcategories, rice skin husk, 19,788 tons in financial year 2023-24, and this has been exported to Philippines, Bangladesh, Nepal. Para-boiled rice, 75.70 lakh tons, and non-basmati white rice, 23.59 lakh tons exported to Africa, Vietnam and Malaysia. Broken rice, 5.45 lakh tons, mainly imported by Senegal, Gambia and Vietnam. So here comes the question that we had discussed that government has lifted the ban on non-basmati white rice. Then why these countries were receiving rice from India? So there is a norm that if some countries request that we need such kind of the rice, we are into the need and that is urgent requirement, in that case India gives the priority and they export rice to them. But generally it was not allowed. Here we'll come to the another aspect, export partners. So India, key importers of Indian rice, basmati rice, primarily Middle Eastern countries. So we have a huge fan base of basmati rice in Middle Eastern countries. Then non-basmati rice, African countries like Benin, Guinea, Togo, as well as Southeast Asia, Vietnam and Malaysia. So these are the areas which imports rice from India, basmati and non-basmati rice, because India categorized like this. So we had data like this. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about the construction worker, and this is the news. Every daily wager in Odisha wants to be identified as a construction worker. Here comes the question that why people of Odisha wants to identify themselves as a construction worker. Here's the answer. And what is the answer? Because there is a lack of employment in the state, and also there is a lack of policy implementation, and so many people are desperate to avail the benefits as a construction worker. So that's why they want to identify themselves as a construction worker. And this is a case study of Odisha. It can apply to other states also, which have a huge rate of unemployment. So how come we know about this thing that Odisha has this kind of desperate case? So Odisha Building and Construction Workers Welfare Board has registered over 42.66 lakh people identified as a construction workers. And many experts have said that because Odisha does not have this much of construction business, then how it is possible that around 43 lakh people can identify themselves as a construction workers? It's because of the lack of jobs. It's because of the unpaid agriculture jobs or least paid agricultural jobs and least educational qualification also and skills also. Labor force and unemployment in Odisha. So Odisha has a population of 351 lakh individuals aged 15 plus, with 214 lakh being part of the labor force. And what this data shows that? This data shows that these amount of the workers are already involved into the job and they are doing some minimal job or they are looking for a job. Or of the labor force, 96%, 205.3 lakh are employed, with 64% being self-employed. 42 lakh people claiming to be construction worker in Odisha is considered as unrealistic due to smaller size of the construction sector. So this data shows the unrealistic because we do not have much business of the construction sector in Odisha. So here we'll know the other reasons. So these are the reasons. The first reason is misclassification of workers. So various experts suggest that many casual workers identify as construction workers because they want to take this state policies benefits which provide medical emergency, accidental benefits, health benefits, and also this has a fund, and from where these funds are collected. So 1% says on construction activities, and we have seen that 4,571 crore accumulated, of which 3,588 crore has been spent. So the government is spending a lot on this scheme, and because of to avail such kind of the benefits, they wants to be identify themselves as a construction worker. It's very good that Odisha had such kind of plans for the construction workers. But what if so many people wants to identify themselves as a construction workers? It's not just because they are actually construction workers, it's because they are desperate because of the lack of opportunities in the state. Here comes to the another aspect of it. Another aspect is that e-Shram portal. As you already know that in pandemic, this portal was very much in news. So, e-Shram portal has, for Odisha, we have this data. Odisha has 1.34 crore workers registered on the e-Shram portal. for accident benefits, but only what we have found that but only 13.25 lakh have identified themselves as a construction workers. So there is a huge gap that so many people registered, but very less are working as a construction workers. High unemployment rate. Odisha unemployment rate is higher than the national average, and it is 8.2%, and the national average is 5.8%. And then according to labor force participation rate, Odisha is 29.5% above the national average, 25.2% because of the overemployment. And here limited job placements, we already had discussed that in Odisha we have lack of opportunity and limited job placements, and nearly 10 lakh people registered for jobs at employment exchange between 4 years, 2022 to 2024. Nearly 10 lakh people registered, but how many have got? So they have got 1176 people secured the job. So this is the status of e-Shram portal. So here we comes to the another aspect. Another aspect is about the OPEC plus. Due to Iran and Israel conflict, the OPEC was in news, and so many international relation experts are suggesting that if we have a OPEC plus, then we are secured in terms of the oil, and there will be no dearth of the oil infrastructure. Here we'll come to the first we'll discuss about the OPEC plus. It is a group of oil exporting countries which meets regularly to decide how much crude oil to sell into the world market, and from where it has been originated. So it has been originated in 2016 to institutionalize framework of cooperation between OPEC and non-OPEC producing countries for the regular and sustainable use of the oil. And then these nations aim to work together on adjusting crude oil production to bring stability in the oil market. OPEC plus controls about 40% of the global oil supplies, which is huge, and more than 80% proven oil reserve. So this has a much importance in terms of the oil production, in terms of the oil market, in terms of the oil reserves. So this is about the OPEC plus. Before OPEC plus, we have this OPEC also, and it is still existing OPEC, and OPEC plus is the combination of OPEC countries and non-OPEC countries. Here we'll discuss about the OPEC. So what is OPEC? So it is a permanent intergovernmental organization of oil exporting countries. And what is the mission? The mission is to unify the petroleum policies of its member countries and similar sustainable use, and also with a view to eliminate harmful and unnecessary fluctuation. And when it was formed, so it was founded in Baghdad, Iraq, with the signing of agreement in September 1960 of 5 countries. So these are the core 5 countries who was a part at the time of formation: Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. And currently it has 12 members. They had increased their member, and this is very important for your examination, because in prelims they can ask that who are the member of the OPEC or who are the members of not OPEC. So here we have 12 members currently: Algeria, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Libya, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates, and where its headquarters is located. So it's located in Vienna, Austria. Now we'll come to the another aspect of it. Another aspect is that OPEC. So here it was the news that OPEC plus could cushion Iran oil shock, but not a broader disruption. As I have already told you that so many experts are saying that OPEC can meet the demand of the oil production and all various countries needed, because Iran has a very good oil infrastructure, and there are so many assumptions that might be Israel will also retaliate to the Iran, because recently Iran attacked on Israel. So there are chances that it will retaliate to Iran, and mainly it will attack on the oil infrastructure, because that has a huge part of economy into the Iran thing. So here OPEC and US, it has been assumed that OPEC and US can help to meet the demands of the oil across the world. So Iranian oil and recent tensions. So I have already told you that what are the recent tensions are going on, and it is a explanation of what you can say the Israel and Palestine thing. So Iranian oil put. So Iran produces 3.2 million barrels per day and 3% of the global output. Exports 1.7 million barrels per day, mostly to China. So here we'll discuss about the OPEC plus capacity overview. So OPEC plus has been cutting production to support prices, and total cuts is 5.86 million barrels. Saudi Arabia and UAE. Saudi Arabia can raise output by 3 million. UAE can increase production by 1.4 million barrels per day. So there are so many assumptions that there will be attack on Saudi Arabia also, and there are chances that there will be so much of disruption in supply chain of the oil. Here we'll have a potential risk related to this. So risk to Middle Eastern oil facilities. Iran might retaliate by targeting oil facilities in Saudi Arabia or UAE. And here there is a name coming, which is US. And you already know that US is going to witness its election. So here we'll discuss about the US oil output, because if it will disrupt, it will have a more reflection on the election result also. So the US produces 13% of the global crude oil and 20% of the global oil liquids, and US production help cushion against the major supply shocks. Strategic concerns what we have in case of disruption. The West may have tapped into the strategic reserve, and political implication is that it will reflect to the election results of the US. So till now we do not know that OPEC and US has a great role of cushioning the demands of the oil thing or not, but many experts are saying that they had capacity to do so. So rest future will tell that what it will have an impact on India, but we can see that so many countries has increased their oil prices, and there are chances that India will also likely to increase their oil prices. Now we'll come to another one. So this is the practice question for prelims. So as you already know the format, that we first discuss the topics and now we'll discuss the practice question for prelims, each for the one topic. So with reference to the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and its spare capacity, consider the following statement. OPEC has a sufficient spare oil capacity to offset a full loss of Iranian oil supply. Most of the OPEC spare capacity is located outside the Middle East, ensuring global oil supply security in case of violent conflicts. Saudi Arabia and UAE together hold a significant share of OPEC's spare oil production capacity. Which of the statement given above are correct? 1 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So you have to answer this into the comment section. Then we'll come to the next one. With reference to the Odisha Building Construction Workers Welfare Board, the labor force in Odisha, which of the following statement are correct? Over 42 lakh people registering as construction worker in Odisha is a realistic given the sector's size. OBCWWB collects 1% cess and provides welfare benefits such as accident assistance and housing. Odisha's unemployment rate and labor force participation rate are both higher than the national average. 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Now we'll come to the next one. What percentage of the consumer rupee is estimated to go farmers for milk according to the RBI's working papers? 56%, 70%, 75%, 43%. So you have to also answer this. Then we have the last one. Who are the India's main competitors in the global rice market? Bangladesh and Myanmar, Thailand and Vietnam, Pakistan and Cambodia, China and Japan. So you all have to answer this into the comment section. And that's it for today's session. You have to prepare all these topics for your mains also and practice your mains also. Thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.